Welcome back everybody to a brand new rebuild, and it probably comes as no surprise with recent news coming out that Olympique Lyon have been relegated to Ligue Division 2. One of the most iconic French clubs in history have been dealt a devastating blow after failing to meet financial requirements set by the DNCG, which is the Direction Nationale de Contrôle de Gestion, the body that oversees the financial regulations in French professional football. Within a debt of around about 175 million euros, they were given a deadline to try and come up with a solution, of which has now passed, and relegation is a reality. And despite finishing in 5th position, that doesn't mean a thing now, unfortunately. We will be aiming to get them back to the top flight and winning the French Ligue title from PSG, of which they did win it 7 times in a row between 2002 and 2008, and they haven't managed to win it since, and that is one of our aims for this particular rebuild. I want to also try and win them a European trophy as well. And there's confirmation of the 7 titles, one after the other. Unbelievable. There's only 7 there, and all on the bounce. That's incredible. But of course I have not won it since, and I don't think they've won any European trophies either, so that is another part of the challenge as well, to win them a European trophy. It doesn't matter which one, but the top one would be nice. But we will carry on this rebuild until we have won the French League top flight. That's the aim. We have been given 3.5 million euros, which is always nice to see. And we don't have a director of football either, though, to be first. But we are predicted to finish top. So that is a good sign as well. However, I have omitted to say that we will be, in this particular rebuild, accepting every transfer offer in the first window, in the summer window, and then the January window we will be purchasing new players. Hold on to your hats, folks. This could be a rough ride. There are no loan obligations. They do like to play the 4-2-3-1, which is fine. How many of these players are going to be here, I don't know. And I am playing an updated database, which has been updated at the time of recording on the 1st of July from sortitoutsI.com. So please go over there and grab yourself an updated database that way. We'll have a look at the finances. They have got 93 million euros in the bank, the 3.5, but the debts is standing at, now it looks like 105 million euros, which accumulates to around about 6 million net debt, which doesn't sound too bad actually. But Sar's gone to Verona for 11 million and Alvaro 4 million. So like I say, our first window we will be just accepting transfers, if at all any. Fingers crossed the players would like to stay put. And speaking of players, this is our trimmed side, which doesn't look an awful lot at all, does it? Biggest wage earners, 92 a week for Tolisso, 81,000 for Matic. He's now 36. Going by age, we have got 4 players 30 and above, Vertut and Clinton Mata, and arguably probably our better players as well, so we're going to have to make do with them for the time being, but their contracts are running out very, very soon. If we do that, there's only 3 and they are the better players, like I've said. So if we look at the other end, we've got a couple of players they've got there at 20 and just slightly older. For Fafana, Malik. We also got Kumbedi, right back. Not bad going actually. It should be enough to get it out of this division. Daiwara, midfielder. We've got Haifa, Numar, Ernst, right and left winger. Excellent stuff. And he's quick. He can dribble. Not so sure on the crossing though. And what else we've got? Tessman. Yeah, this side looks very, very depleted. That's for sure. We could be struggling to hang on to some players here. If we have a look at the youth team, if we just not why this keeps coming up, I've got no idea. If anybody knows how to shut it off altogether, please let me know. But if we have a look at our second team, we have got Matteo Putile, goalkeeper. If he's any good, he can come straight into the first team. Have we got 2 goalkeepers? We have. Okay, we could potentially leave him in the second team. Got Deschamps and Perry. Still relatively young as well, so I'm quite happy with that. Justin Benguil Zhao, another goalkeeper. Again, another decent one. Fall, midfielder. Some of them sound impressive, but the others, Probably not so, but he is 19 years old. Have a look at the under-19s. What have we got to play with there? We've got Ligue, striker, 17 years old. Good potential on him. 10 finishing, however, but the rest of his stats, not bad for a 17-year-old. Ligue, striker and a winger. They're not bad at all. That's a good start. Good basis, I think, going forward as well. And the club vision, they want to work within the budget, grow the club's reputation. Again, unfortunately, maximum 1-year contracts for players over the age of 33. Yeah, well, I think we're going to have to look towards them at some point and probably get some free players in as well, maybe. Reach at least the knockout stages. Are we still in Europe then? Does that not apply to European football if we get relegated under financial issues? Gain automatic promotion. That's a must. We have to do that in the first season. Reach latter stages of the French Cup as well. So I think the first things first is try and get through the first window, because I'd hate to think that we're going to lose some of these players come the end of it. So the summer window has finished, and I'm pleased to say we got off pretty lightly, considering we've got quite a lot of good players in our team. Not many moved, which I'm shocked, but at the same time very, very happy, because it does mean that we can compete this season. Sar and Navarro, we spoke about right at the very beginning. They went early. We did lose Le Penant and Compedi and Perret as well for some money. Not an awful lot, but like I say, we got off very, very light. Tactically, I've decided to do the 4-3-3 with 1 DM, mainly because we haven't got a cam player. And unless I'm going to have 3 in midfield, we pick our best 11. It looks like this. It's not that bad to side, actually. It's very, very decent. We have got a suspension problem and an injury at the moment, and we have got one player who's unregistered, Tessman, and that is because we've got 3 other foreigners in the side. So he doesn't fit the quota, because I think we're only allowed 4, and he is actually the 5th one, so it's quite disappointing not to be able to fit him into the team. We are unbeaten in the first few games of the season. We did beat Le Mans, we beat Pau FC, Montpellier we drew with, which was a good result, especially away from home. Saint Etienne we beat 1-0 only just, and Amiens we drew 1-1 away from home, but at least we're winning our home games and the odd away game. So 3 wins, 2 draws, and we are in the Europa League, of which we've got Real Palace, Crystal Palace and Sturmgren, so it'll be a good time to get some money and probably hopefully win our first trophy, a European trophy. So that would be nice to have that ticked off, but our first priority is to get ourselves back into Ligue 1, and with the 3 wins, 3 draws, we are lying in 4th position, 1 point off the leaders Troyes and Guingamp as well. And where are the Montpellier? Down here actually. They've lost 2 games, Amiens and Pau, and we've I think we've won and drawn against them. I'm sure we beat Pau. We did, and we drew with Amiens. Yeah, that's correct. My memory serves me correctly. So if we have a look at the predictions, we were predicted to finish top. Is that still the case? It is 1-91 to win the league. Well, if we don't win it, there is going to be a massive issue. That's because mainly everybody in the dream team is ours, apart from the forwards, which are Montpellier's. No, yeah, they are. They could be a team to raid, given the chance. So let's jump into our first season and let's see if we can do what's expected of us and get back to the top flight. So the first half of the season now, before we get to the January window, we had a massive win over Nancy and a Fofana hat-trick being the difference in our 3-0 victory over Clermont. And Nathan Miles scoring the second goal in a 2-0 victory over Guingamp, one of our main rivals for the season. But we did lose our first game towards the end of December in a 1-0 loss away at Grenoble. So at the halfway mark, we are top of the table, level on points with Troyes, only losing 1 game with a better goal difference, but Troyes are hot on our heels, winning 1 game more. We are into the next round of the Europa League. We're into the playoffs. First leg against Juventus, so that's going to be a tough game, and we've got Ain Sud in the 9th round of the French Cup. But more importantly, we've got £35 million to spend in the transfer window. So we were pretty busy in the market this window in the January, and quite surprising, there were quite a few bargains, including Rafinha on a free transfer. He's a free agent available to us, 32 years, I know. However, going for another season, if anybody comes in for him, we will make money on him regardless, although he's only worth up to £1 million, so I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit more than that. Also on a free, we're bringing a 28-year-old Gustavo Silva, Brazilian, could play on the right wing. I think that's where he is going to be playing, left wing as well. He can also play up front, so either way he can play anywhere where is required. Very, very quick still at 28. That's amazing. And he's worth up to £10.5 million. Just pure profit, although we are paying 32 grand a week for him. Our first bit of spend from Montpellier, who were happy to let him go. £2.2 million for Joris Jotard, play as a DM. I've used him in a few rebuilds and he's pretty good. From Sporting for 4.1 million, we're bringing Eduardo Quaresma to be as our centre-back option. We're actually going to be locking him in. He's only 23 and does some very high potential, and he looks pretty good. 6 foot tall, and he's a leader, and he brings the ball out of defence, so that's quite nice to see. From Man City for £4.5 million, we bring in 24-year-old Rayan Al-Nouri to be our left back. Very pacey, and he can cross the ball as well, which is going to be pretty handy. And the most we spent this window, Andrea Calpani, £14 million from Brianza to be in the midfield as well. I think he'll probably go straight into the side actually. He looks pretty decent at 26 years old as well. We will be replacing some of the older players come next season, I think. Or we're just bulking our side up, so if anybody does come in for him, we won't be left short. But it's nice to have that option. And the side will look like this now. Is there any changes? Calpani comes in. Matic is still in the DM role. There's nobody really that's taken hold of the positions. Silva comes in, but on the right hand side. However, we do have a strong bench. So let's carry on the rest of the season and see if we continue to stay top. Second half of the season has started well, and the next 10 games we win 9 and only draw in 1, including a 4-2 victory over Montpellier. And we beat Saint Etienne 3-0 away from home with 2 late goals, and we battered Troyes at home 4-1 towards the end of the season to make it a little bit easier on us at the top of the table. And we finish a promising season off with the last game 4-0 at home to Le Mans, beating them 4-0. And that does give us a title in our first season and straight back to the top division. We actually smashed the league with only 2 losses this season. We win by 5 points in the end, which probably helped with having that big victory over Troyes towards the end of the season. Weirdly enough though, we don't have a leading goal scorer, best player in the league. We also don't have any of the match awards leading that. But Perry does get 21 clean sheets, so he does win the Golden Glove. And we only conceded 16 goals in 34 games, which is absolutely remarkable. We did score 71 goals, third most in the league. And to go with the title, we get to the final of the French Cup, and we played Montpellier of all teams. 2 championship teams or 2 Division 2 teams in the final, where we go and beat them 1-0 after extra time. Silva netting the winner. The semi-finals, we beat Nantes, where Montpellier beat Lorient. Quarter-finals, did we not play any of the bigger teams? Oh, Lille got there though. Where's everybody else? This seems very, very bizarre. Is this just a competition for the lower teams? Where's everybody else? I'm going down there. We beat Hederes. Reims was there. Paris FC. Lille. Oh, Nice did get knocked out. Wow, everybody must have got knocked out very early on. Where's PSG even? Did they get knocked out? They must have done though, to be fair. They lost on penalties to Lille. Some of them big guns didn't even feature. That is amazing. In the Europa League, we got as far as a knockout playoff round, and we lost to Juventus. We lost to Juventus on penalties after a 3-3 draw. How did we do in the group stages then? Palace did go through ourselves. Who did we beat? So we beat Palace twice, ironically, and still couldn't go top. Drew with Sturm Graz and Hispalis, and we lost to Hispalis. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. The eventual winners was Juventus, who knocked us out. Squad-wise for this season, though, if we look at goals, 27 goals then for George Mukutadze with 6 assists. For Fana, 15 and 7. 12 and 12 for Veritut. 10 and 7 for Nuama. 10 and 12 for Silva. That's not bad going either. Calpani, 5 and 12, 18 games. 22 conceded in 47 games for Perry overall with 31 clean sheets. Wow. Nori, did he play? Yeah, played 8 and 8 off the bench. 1 assist. Rafina, did he play? Not that many games, surprisingly, but obviously did enough to get us through some of the big teams that we did have in. Shotard, he did play 7 games, 1 assist. He's only 24 as well. So going into next season, we're back into the top flight and we need some cash. Ooh, okay, 39 million euros to improve the side in order to help stay in the division straight off the bat and, of course, challenge for that title. So let's get on to the transfer window. Our biggest fear for losing any sort of player this season has been made reality. We lose Lucas Perry, our goalkeeper, who only conceded 16 goals in the season last season. He's gone to Inter Milan for up to 15 million euros. Not an awful lot, but we had to accept anything that was offered. A couple of other players, and Cuckoo's gone as well, 2.7. Diawaro's gone up to 500,000 to Angers. And then a couple of other players and quite a few out on loan, which is our second and our youth team, I'm guessing. None of the first team. So again, apart from the goalkeeper, I think we got off quite lightly. However, I did expect some of the bigger players to go, which would increase our budget. So our side looks like this now. Our best 11. It isn't too bad. The only change really is our goalkeeper, who was our second choice, is now our number 1. And we've also got from our second team, Justin Zhao, 21 years old, as our second choice goalkeeper. So when the window opens in January, goalkeeper is a priority. Saying that, we've worked miracles this season. We do win the Trophy de Champs. That's absolutely outstanding, especially against PSG as well. 2-1, Veretout and Quaresma both scoring. Quaresma scoring the winner in the 87th minute. And then the league, back into the top flight. Metz we beat 3-1. We smashed Marseille 5-1. Lille we drew 1-1 with. Fofana scores in the 87th minute, thinking we have won it. And then we conceded the 91st. Very disappointing. And Lorient we win 3-0. We are in the Europa League because we won the French Cup last season, and we've got Club Brugge, Young Boys, Vikinga, Augsburg, Copenhagen, Karabag, Zwolle and Dynamo Kiev. I think we stand a very good chance of winning that. We are second in the table currently. I mean, what a return back to the top flight that is. It's like we've never left. We are predicted round about 4th in the Europa League, which I'm really happy with, but you have got United, Villarreal and Braga ahead of us though. And if we have a look at the predictions for this season, wow, okay, I'll take that. Prediction 4th in the league, 33-1 to win it. Wouldn't it be funny if we actually won the league this first season back? And as you can see, PSG are dominating that Dream 11 apart from Marseille's Greenwood. So let's jump into our second season. First of all, see if we can survive, which I think we will do quite easily. See if we can actually challenge PSG for the title. So the January window, we managed to spend 50 million euros, and 6.5 of that from Rosenborg was for Naipan, 20-year-old midfielder. He can play left wing, right wing, cam, midfield, DM. Perfect all-rounder, I think. And we are going to be locking him in for this half of the season because he has got bags of potential, and I just want him to unlock that as quick as possible. I said we needed a goalkeeper, and we raided Atalanta, 15.5 million euros for Marco Carnesecchi, a fantastic goalkeeper, 26 years old, comes straight into the first team. And from Club Brugge for 28 million euros, we bring in Nicolo Tresoldi, a forward. Although we have got a couple of other players, and our striker at the moment has scored 21 goals out of 21 games. So I was umming and ahhing whether we needed one, but I felt like we needed a better one, and I think at 22 years old he will be around for a bit longer. So we are going to be locking in Tresoldi and Naipan in. Our goalkeeper is going to be self-explanatory. Carnesecchi will come straight in. If we pick our best 11, Veretout comes in. We changed the position now to Mazzara on support as opposed to DLP, just so we can start pushing these players up the park a little bit. So let's fast forward to the end of the season and see where we end up. After the turn of the new year, Tresoldi, our new striker, got himself a brace in a fantastic 4-1 victory over Lille. We had a very good 0-0 draw with PSG at home, despite PSG dominating the game. And we also drew with Monaco as well in a yo-yo game in a 3-3 draw. And Mkhitaryan netting a hat-trick in a 3-0 away victory at Rennes, being the last game of our current season, which did in the end see us finish in 4th position, which isn't too bad back in the big leagues. Again, I'll stress that it's as if we've never been away. 8 losses though, 31 goal difference, which is fantastic either way. We are some way off PSG, who ran away with the league in the end, just losing that one game, and that was to Monaco 2-0. George Mikatad's got the golden boot for this season. Nobody else really shining. Quaresma, 11 yellow cards. The French Cup, as holders, we only got as far as the quarter-finals, losing to Marseille 2-1. And the Europa League, we got as far as the round of 16, losing to Valencia. The league phase, we were comfortable in 3rd position, 7 wins. Kiev, Zwolle, Karabakh, Copenhagen, Vikinger, Young Boys and Club Brugge are losing that one game to Augsburg, surprisingly. But we only conceded 4 goals in the 8 games in the league phase, which is pretty good. Manchester United 8 for 8. Now, this is something you don't see very often. And unfortunately, that's where we bowed out. We lost 2-1 in the end. We just couldn't score a goal or more at home against them. So yeah, very unfortunate not to go any further. I expected us to progress a lot further, but it wasn't to be this time round. And the eventual winners, Manchester United, got all the way to the final and lost to Fiorentina. That's just are they the new bottle jobs now, not Spurs? Or can we class them both as bottle jobs? Wow. So our squad for this season: George Mikatads got 33 goals. Nuama 14 and 10. Fofana 9 and 4. Naipan got 8 and 6. That's pretty good from the midfield position. Trisoldi 7 goals in 10 games. That's pretty decent as well. Really chuffed with that. We have got some very, very good strikers. George is only 26. Trisoldi's 22. He has been injured for a while though, Balok. He's been injured since February. Wow. So he only played 10 games since February. Cruciate ligaments. That could be an issue. He's only 22 as well. We've got 2 very good young strikers. I'm contemplating a 4-2-4 at this stage with them 2 strikers. We have got a lot of strikers, mind. 18 clean sheets for our goalkeeper, who's out on loan. Zhao, he's only 21. Deschamps played 25 games, 28 conceded, 7 clean sheets. And Konasechi, 24 games, 21 goals conceded only, and 12 clean sheets. So a lot better than Deschamps. So, going into the summer window, hopefully we can hold on to some of these players before we have time to strengthen the squad come January. But at the moment, our finances, 43 million euros to spend. That could be more if we sell any players along the way. So fingers crossed, going into season 3, we don't lose that many players. Once again, I think we got off pretty lightly. However, we do lose Nori, our left wing back, to Fiorentina for up to 17.5 million euros, and Adrilson has gone to FLU for up to 4.7 million. A few have also left on for free. I think they're from the youth team or second team, and then quite a few going out on loan once again. 16.5 million euros go out the door, and we have to wait now until January before we can bring any more players in. So tactically, we are going to be changing the formation up a little bit. It's one that I use with Leeds. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch that. It's the last one that I did. It worked kind of well, and I want to try and see if it works with this particular team as well. And some of the results have been fantastic so far. But yeah, at the minute, 3 in midfield, 1 cam, 2 up front. I wanted to play that anyway, I think, because we have got some cracking strikers, and I think it'd be a shame not to utilise them. So if we pick our best 11, it's a solid side. There are a few positions which need improving on, I think, but apart from that, it's very, very solid. We could do another defender, midfielder maybe, and possibly a backup striker, but I think our front line is a-okay. We just need to solidify at the back. And with that, the results have gone our way quite a lot. We haven't conceded that many goals. We beat Paris FC, Montpellier, Reims, but lost to Lens in the league. We were in the Champions League qualifiers as we beat Rangers 5-1 and 2-1. We beat Fenerbahce 2-1 at home, but unfortunately we lost 2-0 away from home, which landed us in the Europa League, which I'm not that concerned about. I'm quite happy with that. Feyenoord, we have to play Bodo Glimt, Genk, Transport, AC Milan, Ferencváros. We've got Dinamo and Karabag. I think again it's another season where we should be able to progress that little bit further. We are lying second in the table, 3 points off PSG, who are 4 for 4 because we lost that game to Lens. And the Europa League, we're predicted around about 7th, so I think we have dropped. But AC Milan are in there, Rangers again are in there, so they must have dropped straight through and gone through another qualifier or so. Aston Villa, Newcastle are in there, and if we have a look where we are predicted this time in the league, We have shot up to 4th, 25-1 now to win the league. Unfortunately, we still haven't got any players in the Dream 11 yet, but the teams are starting to break up PSG a little bit. So let's jump into our 3rd season and let's see if we can get closer to PSG for starters and see if we can get anywhere nearer to winning a European trophy. With just over 50 million euros in the transfer kitty, we go for a defender, Pierre Kalulu, from Juventus for 16 million euros to sit at the back. He's going to be our new defender. We did sell him on to AC Milan, so he's come back to the club by the looks of things. Oh my God, why did we get rid of him? Looks like he's gone out, and the Juventus didn't really play him at all as we pick him up quite cheaply, to be fair. Stats wise, he looks pretty decent. He can also play it right back as well, so Quaresma had better watch out, but hopefully he will be fitting it into the centre back option. We spend a little bit more on Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace, 31 million euros. He's going to be our new midfielder. We have changed the formation up a little bit, but we are locking him in the central role. And for 5.5 million euros, we pick up another midfielder, Yuri Panos from Victoria Pleasant. Not too bad. We didn't have that much money left. 5.5 million was what we paid out, and he's only on 18,000 a week, so not bad for a backup. And he's only 20 years old with oodles of potential. I did say the formation has changed a little bit, and we've just moved one of the midfielders into a DM position. I think that's where Chattard is going to play. He does. I mean, the side looks really good actually, and in fact Panos comes actually into where Wharton was going to be playing. I'm wondering whether to stick him in or just let them fight it out between themselves. We have got a very decent midfield now. Our forward line is superb. As you can see, Carpani, Tresoldi and Amar have scored 60 plus goals between them. I mean, that is insane. And Naipan has developed incredibly. So at the halfway stage, we are lying in 3rd position. 11 points off at PSG at the top. We are into the next round of the Europa League. We did go through league phase, beating everybody there, including Dinamo, 11-0. That's incredible. And we beat AC Milan 4-0. So very, very good victories there. But we drew with Genk and Feyenoord, which doesn't make any bit of sense at all. And we are into the 11th round, of which we will be playing FCSM. So let's simulate the rest of the season and see where we finish. The second half of the season saw us fight towards PSG with a 6-2 victory over Paris FC. We also beat Lens 5-2 with a hat-trick from Tresoldi. With Tresoldi also netting a brace in this game against PSG with a 3-0 victory away from home as well. Chattard with a shot, rebound, Tresoldi on target. Further high-scoring games including a 6-3 win over Saint Etienne, 5-3 over Nantes, and 2 5-1 victories in the last games of the season, including this one against Montpellier, 5-1. Again, Tresoldi on hand, this time to score his 4th. But unfortunately, it was not enough to take the title. In fact, we finished rather 18 points behind PSG in the end, who were just relentless, winning 7 games more than ourselves. I've got no idea how we are going to stop them, if at all. Tresoldi, Golden Boot winner with Nuama as well with 29. That's remarkable from the front 2 men. They also get the best players in the league. They're also involved in that Player of the Match awards. In fact, there's 4 people there on 7 Player of the Match awards. We don't get many clean sheets though, which is worrying. But Vinicius gets 18 assists as well. And it's nice to see we're dominating the yellow cards as well. But in a very high scoring season, we did score 111 goals. Unfortunately, we conceded 58. But we do win the French Cup. We get all the way to the final. We play Monaco and we absolutely smash them with Tresoldi netting the 2nd of 5. So well done to the lads. And as you can see, the Europa League, we came runners up. We got all the way to the final, which is remarkable, of which we played AC Milan and we lost 3-2. We beat them in the group stage, I'm sure we did. Let's just have a quick look. One of the wins. Yeah, we beat them 4-0 at home in the group stage. So we went to the round of 16 where we played Feyenoord and we absolutely trounced them 6-2. The quarterfinals, we beat Newcastle 3-1 over the 2 legs. The semis, we came against Valencia and we smashed them 5-2 with AC smashing Leverkusen 5-2 as well. And then the 3-2 loss in the end in the final. Very disappointed to get all the way there and not win our first European trophy. That would have been the icing on the cake, I think. Our squad, however, 52 goals from Tresoldi. That's incredible. In fact, he's worth up to 120 million euros. He is wanted though by Chelsea. Oh dear. Well, they've got to come up with the goods, haven't they? Just hope they don't offer anything ridiculous. Namama as well. He's worth up to 117. 38 and 13. Capone as well, 30 and 17. What a lineup we've got there. There's over 100 goals there. 120 odd, I think. George as well, 16 and 7. 14 and 6 for Nyakati. 8 and 25 for Naipan. That is fantastic. He's worth up to 119 million. That's incredible. 29 assists for Vinicius as well from our left back. Quaresma, 17 assists. That's where we've literally dominated, isn't it, really? Our wing backs have done their job running up the line and crossing in, and our forwards have been finishing them off. That is incredible. Unfortunately, Konasechi, for some reason, conceded 81 goals in 58. Wharton, he got 18 assists. Wow, so both our midfielders, Naipan with 25, 18 for Wharton. That's incredible. What a difference they've made to this second half of the season, because I'm sure we were lagging behind a fair bit. So it all depends now is whether we can hang on to some of these players, because if we lose them, we may be in trouble. But finances, we have got 42 million, 111 in the bank, so I'm going to ask for some more money anyway. But our debts, just out of curiosity, 67 million left. So let's jump into this summer window, and fingers crossed we don't lose our top men. This summer we couldn't get away from losing two of our better players. Tresoldi, our star striker, has gone to Atletico Madrid for up to 102 million euros. 59 million originally, and then the rest in add-ons, I'm guessing. Wow, I just can't believe he's gone. 102 million in the end. There were offers from Real Madrid, Barcelona even, and he chose Atletico. And we also lose Quaresma, our right back. He's gone to Manchester City for up to 69 million euros. So a lot of money coming in, and then we lose a couple of other players as well, which means to our budget 154 million come January. So we are sticking with the same formation. It did really well the second half of the season. Kalulu going to the right hand side now. Our front line looks a little bit different now without Tresoldi, but Naipan and Wharton are dominating the midfield, which is nice to see. And to be perfectly honest, we haven't really suffered much at all. We beat PSG in the Trophy des Champions with a 3-1 victory, but in the league we've won 5 out of 5, including a 6-0 victory over Havre. We beat Marseille and Metz. We beat them 5-1. In the Champions League, we've got Salzburg, Manchester City. We'll probably see Quaresma in that one. Benfica, Stuttgart, Barcelona, Liverpool, oh my god, AEK and Lazio. I'll be amazed if we get out of that group. We are top of the table. PSG, 4 points behind us. They've dropped 4 points to Lorient and Nice respectively, and we are predicted 12th to finish in the league phase of the Champions League, so they are predicting us to go through. Season preview, Caesars jumped to 3rd now, 14-1 behind Monaco and obviously PSG, but I'm hoping we can get a little bit closer. And Noama has made it into the Dream 11. Fantastic. And Naipan's in the key plays to watch as well. So season 4 then, folks. Let's see if we can make a dent into this gap between ourselves and PSG. Our first signing from Celtic for 33 million euros. 23-year-old Dean Huijsen comes in. He's going to be one of our centre-backs. Another good option. Good jumping reach and heading. And he can tackle, presumably. He does. 14. And his physicals look really good. And at 6'5", he's going to be very difficult to get past, I gather. From Juventus for 33 million euros. Probably overpaid. However, look at his value. 116 million. That's insane. 19-year-old Vic Metlen. I think he's a regen. Looks like a regen. Got a good finish in 12 and 19. That's not bad. Physicals look pretty good. 6'3". He's a complete forward as well. And he scored 3 goals in 2 league games. 9 in 6 games in total. since coming to us. Potential is very, well, looks very high. 4.5 star, 5 star, 4.5. We're locking him in this season. I'm hoping he's going to be the same as Trisoldi, I think, before we lost him. But if somebody comes in for him, we're going to be cashing in somewhat wicked for him, I think. We raid Celtic again, 17.5 million. We're bringing Renato Viega to be a DM option for, not sure who's playing that DM anymore, actually. Shotard. So they're going to be fighting out between themselves this time, but I do think Shotard's slightly better, but it's always nice to have that good option. From Villa, we bring in Restes, goalkeeper, for I think it was another 30 million or something like that. I am aware that our current goalkeeper is Carnesecchi is getting a lot of interest, and it's not going to be long before somebody comes in for him pretty big. So I needed, or I wanted to get another goalkeeper in, a decent goalkeeper in, while we have the money, and Restes was that person, and they're quite cheap as well. And finally, we raid one of our rivals for 26 million euros, Elise Ben Segar, French under-21 international, 23 years old, high potential, a good backup for Kalpani in the cam position. They can fight it out. It's always nice to have at least 2 players in each position, I feel. And I think he's a very, very good option, especially for the rest of this season at least. So we're sticking with the same formation, but we are locking 2 players in, and we changed the positioning on one of the, or roles of one of the forwards, and that's Metelen to a complete forward, which is his preferred position, and Huijsen comes straight in at the centre-back option as well. If we pick our best 11 now, they stay in, and Segar comes in. Okay, this could be interesting for the rest of the season. There's going to be battling out for positions now. And just where we are after 20 games, we are lying top of the table, and we lost our first game at the end of December, I think it was. Lorient, 4-0. We got absolutely hammered. I mean, I'm not sure what happened there, but PSG are hot on our heels, unbeaten, but they have drew 3 games more than ourselves. So 3 points at the gap at the moment. We are into the Champions League knockout rounds. We've reached the 11th round of the French Cup as well. So at the moment, we're all in for all 4 trophies. We've won 1. Can we get a quadruple maybe? But more importantly, I want this title. So it all depends now whether we can go toe-to-toe. And I think with the additions we have, I think we have definitely solidified our squad. So let's simulate to the end of the season. And fingers crossed, we can get that elusive title from PSG. Whereas PSG were continuing their fine form and winning every single game, it just doesn't seem unfair. We've dropped more points straight after the transfer window as we drew with Saint Etienne, conceding a goal in the 82nd minute after we thought we'd won the game on the hour. And we did the same again, this time against PSG, where we thought it won the game. Metelen scoring after 15 minutes, but a bad pass out and Ramos equalises in the 88th. Somehow PSG went ahead of us by a couple of points, and even though we kept winning, including this one against Brest 8-1, with Metelen scoring 5 goals, we just couldn't overtake them. We even smashed Montpellier as well, 7-0, to try and keep the heat up on PSG, hoping for a slip up somewhere, somehow. But going into the last game of the season, the penultimate one, we beat Monaco after they had a player sent off, 5-0 away from home. And disaster struck PSG on the final game of the season, 81st minute goal and winner from Nice's Donnelly. And while PSG were losing very late on, we scored an early goal in the 32nd minute against Havre in the final game, which proved to be the winner. Finally giving us the title by 2 points. That loss against Nice for PSG ended up being their only loss of the season as well, as they were drawing games also, but they somehow went ahead of us second half of the season. But thankfully, we had drawn lesser games and won that all-important final game against Havre to seal the deal and win the league title. Finally, I did wonder when this was going to happen. PSG were just so relentless and they battled it. The final game of the season, 10 minutes to go, they conceded what proved to be the winner. 75 goal difference as well is remarkable. Neymar got 18 goals. Konate got 26 for Marseille, and Moani for PSG got 22. But Metelen and Vinicius, best players in the league. Konate, most clean sheets in the season. Vinicius, 7 Player of the Match awards. He also gets joint top assists. And of course, we gain a lot of yellow cards. So even though we scored 98 goals and only conceded 23, it was still a tight affair as PSG were just so relentless. Unbelievably, as you can see, we did draw one game towards the end in the final 5, but PSG drew and lost, which opened the door on that final day. The Trophée de Champs and the league title as a domestic double. The French Cup, we got knocked out by PSG of all teams in the quarterfinals of the French Cup, 2-0. It doesn't matter, I don't care at this point, but did they go on and win that? They did. They thrashed Marseille 5-1. And in the Champions League, we got as far as the quarterfinals after going through the group stage. Quick look, a quick recap. We finished in 9th position. 5 wins. We did beat Liverpool amongst them and Barcelona. We drew with Lazio and Benfica but lost to Man City. So that took us into the knockout round where we played Monaco and beat them 3-2. Round of 16 we played Man City and beat them 2-1. Thanks to a second leg away win. Wow, knocking one of the big teams of England out. And then the quarterfinals, losing to Liverpool 4-2 despite winning the second leg 2-1. But all the way to the final, PSG are still there. They beat Chelsea, so they were going on for another trophy. And PSG did get to the final in the end, losing to Real Madrid 2-0. If we have a look at goals scored, then 35 goals for Neymar, with Metlin scoring 23 and 3. Not bad for his second half of the season, 26 games. 19 years old, looks absolutely amazing. Yeah, he looks sound, absolutely sound. Worth up to 126 million. Is he wanted by any chance? He's not. Nobody's looking at him just yet. Wow. 19 and 9 then for Copani. 10 and 14 for Naipan. Not his best season. So have a look at assists because that's easier. 29 for Vinicius. Brilliant. Nuama as well. 17, 14 for Naipan, 14 for Kalulu, 12 for Wharton. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And a goalkeeper as well, Konasechi, 40 goals conceded this season. A lot better with 24 clean sheets. Restes did play a game and only conceded the 1. So he's a good backup to have, but I'm sure Konasechi is wanted. He is. Brighton this time. It's taken us 4 seasons, 3 back in the top flight. And it's as if we never left there in the first place. But we have built quite a fairly young side. As you will be able to play this save because this will be available to you on Ko-fi.com. I'll leave the link down in the description box below where you can carry on the save, carry on doing the way it's been done over the first couple of seasons where you accept every transfer and then January you go and spend it. Or you just take it over, look at the team, see what players there is, have a good look around. It's entirely up to yourselves. But together with that, if you do want to play the save, you will be given 66 million euros to carry it on. 186 million in the bank. Any debts now? There's still 62 million in debt. So they've still got that debt, which they could pay it off, and they're being stubborn not to. And we have got 4-star facilities all the way across the board. Youth recruitment, 3.5. That could be increased. And if we have a look at records, so winning the title back after the 2001-2002 is the first time they've done. I think it was 2008 won it because they won 7 on the bounce. Most league points in the season 85. Most league wins 26. So we did break a couple of records there. The fewest league defeats 1. Fantastic season in the end. Most league goals 111 the season before. Highest attendance against Saint Etienne, and that was in League 2. Highest gate receipts 3 million against Juventus in the knockout playoff round in the Europa League, not the Champions League at all. Biggest win 12-1 in 2027. We also have the highest scoring match 12-1 against Bordeaux as well. That's the French Cup. That was this season, I think it was actually. High scorer game 8-4 against Monaco. Tresoldi, most goals in a season 52. I wonder how he is doing, or how did he do over the last season or 2. Looks phenomenal though, to be fair. If we have a quick look, he only played 18 games for Atletico, scoring 6. Should have stayed where he was. Most league goals by player in a league season then. 34 by Tresoldi again. That's what probably prompted the move in the end. Vinicius, highest average rating. Oldest player was Matic at 37. Tresoldi, fastest goal, 9 seconds against Paris FC. Metlin, 5 goals in a game, in a league game as well at that, against Brest in an 8-1 victory. Vinicius, most assists by a player in the season. Perry, our goalkeeper originally, 31 clean sheets. I think that was in the first season, I think, maybe, or maybe the season. It might have been the first season actually in the league, in the second division. Finishers, most player of the match awards, oldest goal scorer, Matic. Sequences, we did have 12 matches won in a row, 23 matches without losing. We didn't manage that one, but we did most matches lost in a row, 2. Most matches without winning, 4. Most matches without scoring, 2. Most matches without conceding, 11. Again, that could have been in the second division. Transfers, 33 million for Huijsen from Celtic. And that is about it. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with that. We did break quite a few records. So if you did enjoy that, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And we'll see you again on the next rebuild. Thank you.